At the Cairns Chapel, visiting Cairns with President Faso. He's got the camera and he's asked me to do a little bit of a demonstration on some of the sanitising and cleaning procedures in preparation for coming back to having meetings at the chapel. And so ultimately we want to have a wall-mounted hand sanitising station, but they're not quite ready yet. It's probably going to be in August when we get those. So we are supplying ample amounts of just portable hand sanitizer, which will be in the main foyer. And so as people come in and they're about to go into the chapel area, they'll just use one of these pump stations and sanitize. And that way they've cleaned their hands, they've come through all the doors, they've touched surfaces, but the last thing they do before going into the chapel is they've sterilised their hands and then will walk into the chapel. Now a suggestion is that we remove as many touch points as possible. So hymn books can be removed from the chapel, stored in one of the offices, and people can be encouraged to just use their electronic devices. All right, let's walk up to the pulpit. Now, here at Cairns, I've just turned up this morning, and they have an ingenious way of making sure that the microphone doesn't fall down. So we've got a broken microphone there, so we're going to have to get that fixed. But here at the pulpit, we are supplying the first package of these. Once they're used up, it's up to the local units to resupply. But these are just like a sanitary wipe. So what we've been asked to do is once someone's finished speaking at the pulpit, obviously, you know, they may touch the surface. When they finish, a member of the Bishopric or Branch Presidency would come up, grab a wipe, do a quick clean of the surfaces. Okay, any areas that possibly may have been touched. We have been asked to do that sanitary wipe down between each person speaking at the pulpit. Over at the sacrament table, facilities management will be providing sanitizers, at least the first bottle of sanitizer for the sacrament table, and then if that needs replenishment, the local units can buy their own. Obviously, this would all be set up for sacrament, cloths, and this would be in good view of the membership, so that when the priest or whoever's ministering, the members can actually see the priest sanitizing their hands as the opening hymn is sung, and then they break the bread. They may want to sanitize a little bit before, just to make sure that their hands aren't wet with the gel, that they've got time to dry, so that chemical smell isn't transferred to the bread when it's broken. So there's probably got to be a little bit of a time gap there. But as far as the chapel goes, in preparation and during the meeting, that's what's required. We'll now go and get some cleaning products and we'll show you what's done after the meeting. Getting ready now for the after church, when the cleaning team is ready to prepare the chapel for the next lot of people coming in. So sacrament meeting's over, or there might have been a leadership meeting that's occurred. Cleaning needs to happen after each of these events. So putting on gloves so that I don't recontaminate areas that I've cleaned. So we're starting here in the chapel. So this is the all-purpose cleaner, and this does kill the COVID-19 virus. The dilution rates for making a spray and wipe solution are on the label. So we fill up to this point with water, and then we fill up to the spray and wipe symbol. There's a little mark there that says spray and wipe with the actual concentrate. And that then makes an effective spray and wipe for the killing of the virus. When I spray that, it's coming out as a mist rather than a fine squirt line. And that's adjusted by the tip. By screwing that in almost shut, I can do it as a mist. And so I'm now misting surfaces. Okay, now as I mist that surface, I can use a cloth to wipe it down. That's one choice I've got. or I can just leave it as a mist and let it dry on its own, which would probably take 10 to 15 minutes. But I suggest when you've got hard surfaces like this, it's quite easy then just to run a cloth over it to clean all the surfaces down. Look at all the touch points where people would be touching. Ends of pews, you know, when they get up, they might be touching that. And so it'd be all these surfaces here. Have the metal push plates or handles. Okay, we'd be looking at cleaning. Sacrament trays would need to be thoroughly cleaned in preparation for the next ward. And so the same spray and wipe can be used on the handles of the trays to thoroughly clean them, those touch points. All right, we might just now go into one of the bathrooms. Yeah, that's a good example of a stainless steel push plate that's going to be getting touched. You know, so obviously you want to give that a very good and thorough clean. Okay. All right, your touch points here. People are going to be touching this to get soap out. Okay, the handles. Now, like I said, you can wait for this to dry on its own, or you can use a cloth if you want to dry it a bit quicker. You've got the paper towel dispenser here. Now, most people will just be reaching for the paper towel itself, but you may want to just give that a little bit of a disinfect there as well. The toilets and urinals, now normally the urinals, people don't touch those, but I would just mist the area. Okay, the toilet pans themselves. Okay, this is a clean between sacrament meetings, so you're not here to really do a thorough toilet clean, you're just here to do a sanitize. And so I would leave this to one of the final things to be done while you've got your gloves on, because it's probably going to be one of the areas where you've got most germs, is the toilets. But what we're looking at doing here is really just doing a mist over the paper towel dispenser, over the toilet system, over the lid, the touch points. Okay. Alright, and then underneath there as well. Okay, that will dry off in a matter of 10 or 15 minutes, and then that's going to be sterile. The white switch plates, which will get touched, particularly people coming in, first thing they come in is touch the switches, turn them on, and then people will touch it to go home. So here you may just want to wet the rag and then just clean the light switches and any other kind of electrical outlets that may get a bit of use. So hopefully that's given you a little bit of an idea of the types of cleaning that needs to happen around the chapel. Of course, all those hard surfaces like the vanities in the bathrooms, you give them a spray at the end, and also the kitchen. We didn't go into the kitchen, but if the kitchen was used, it's important to go in there and clean those hard surfaces as well. Probably refrigerator handle, you know, microwave front door and handle, anything that might have been touched.